Hey there, I'm Michael Williams, your island chef. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to be working on some twisted classics, or classics twisted, I don't know, which one is it? We're going to start off with a nut butter and jam smoothie. From there we're going to jump into a roasted cauliflower and kale Caesar salad, and then we're going to finish it off with some yam latkes. Delicious stuff, all of that coming up on today's show. So, we're ready to get underway on our smoothie. Now, we're gonna make this two different ways. I'm gonna show you two options for how to make a nut butter and jam smoothie. One, really simple. We're gonna go with some almond butter. You know, I do eat peanut butter. I'm not gonna say I don't, but it's not the most nutritious fat profile. So I like to go with the almond butter or cashews or, sunflower seeds. Different nuts and seeds definitely have more to offer than peanuts. So that's our first tip. Got some yummy jam here. All right, let's get our jam in there. So all the sweetness from our smoothie is gonna come from the jam. And then we're gonna milk it up. A little bit of milk. A little bit of ice. And just a touch of vanilla. Good to go. So number one is ready to go. So that is batch number one. We're gonna do a variation now. So let's just give this a quick rinse. That should do the trick. All right, so that's number one. Let's take a look at number two, option number two. So instead of almond butter, which we used in our first one, we've got some cashews here, some raw cashews, which I've soaked overnight. So at least 8 hours you want to soak them for. Softens them up nicely, takes care of some of that phytic acid, the anti-nutrients, so that we can get a little bit more out of our nuts and seeds. So we're gonna put in our soaked raw cashews. We're gonna put in some frozen raspberries. And because we got the frozen raspberries going in there, and instead of the jam, we need to add a little bit of sweetness, or maybe not need, but want. So a little bit of maple syrup. And then we'll go back to the vanilla and the milk. And we'll be ready to puree this one up. All right, so we've got a little bit nicer presentation, perhaps. I'm really liking this vibrant pink color we're getting out of this smoothie. All right, now, time to taste. We're gonna see who's made the better smoothie, me or me, okay? Let's start off with me. Creamy, smooth, almond butter, delicious. Love it. I really like that. Let's go on to number two, what I thought was the prettier, made by me. Very good, very refreshing. So it's a little bit brighter with the fresh raspberries, well, fresh frozen. A little bit more texture because of the seeds of the raspberries, like with the jam, the seeds have been taken out. So a little bit more texture, a little bit more flavor, kind of, a little bit more nut buttery. I think they're really good, both of them. close. I don't know. Who's going to be chopped? I think this is the winner. Delicious. So, there you have it. A couple of fantastic options for a nut butter and jam smoothie. Next up, we're taking the classic Caesar salad, changing things up a little bit of roasted cauliflower, some fried caper dressing, coming up next. All right, so I've already got my kale torn. I'll show you what I did though, is I just peeled the kale off the stem. We don't want the stem in our salad, we just want the leaves. So peel those leaves right off the stem, and then, you know, just throw those out. Save them for your smoothie. Yeah! Oh! Okay, so now I'm gonna wash this. So, organic kale I've got here, okay? And you know what I found on the kale? Aphids. Can you believe that? Isn't that disgusting? Aphids. You know what? I will take aphids on my kale any day as opposed to pesticide residue. Because guess what? Bugs love greens, especially greens. And pretty much all greens will have bugs on them at some point in the green's life cycle. So, you know, if you've got perfect kale with no bugs on it, good chance it's been pesticided. And guess what? Chemicals, for me, no thanks. So we're just gonna give this a really good bath. Like so. And you know, I bet you there's some pretty fantastic health benefits to aphids anyways. You know what? Maybe, just maybe, aphids and other bugs are actually the fountain of youth and we just don't even know it yet. What do you think? Maybe, you know? Back in the day, they didn't care. They just grabbed the kale, the romaine, whatever it was, and ate it all up, you know? No washing, whatever. Just do it, right? All right, so our kale's nice and dry. We're gonna get our frying pan nice and hot so that we can get started on our dressing. As you can see, we've got some beautiful roasted cauliflower here. So all I did was toss this with a little bit of oil, some turmeric, some paprika, salt, pepper, and cumin seeds. Tossed it in a 415-degree oven and roasted it until it looked beautiful like that. That's gonna be one of the components to our salad to go with our kale. All right, so let's keep rolling away here and get started on our dressing. We're gonna fry some capers. So that's why I've got the frying pan warming up. We're gonna wait till that's nice and hot. We wanna get our capers relatively dry. There is quite a bit of moisture trapped inside these guys anyway, so it's gonna be a pretty splattery affair. We're gonna go with a few tablespoons here. And again, try to dry them. Just gonna kind of roll them in this paper towel a little bit, and then we're gonna get them into our hot frying pan with a little bit of oil. Capers, of course, are a classic ingredient in, or I should say a crucial ingredient in classic Caesar dressing, but fried, it's just a little bit different. So let's do that. All right, so our frying pan should be nice and hot now. Just gonna get some oil in there, and then the capers. And then we're gonna have to put a lid on this because it's gonna be a bit of a splatter show. And we'll let them do their thing. All right, so those capers will take a few minutes, not too long. We'll stir them up a couple of times. In the meantime, let's get the rest of our dressing underway. We're gonna use our trusty blender once again. Time to get some garlic. I may have forgotten my trick, so I'm gonna show you again. Remember this one? Crunchy crunch. Guess what? I just peeled a whole bulb of garlic. Thank you very much. We only need 3 right now. So, take what we need, and then the rest will just go into the fridge, ready for us for next time. So, we've got our garlic. We're gonna get a little bit of Dijon in here. Not too much, just a taste. Okay, we've got another classic Caesar ingredient here. Anchovies. You want to get anchovies packed in oil. Very crucial. We'll probably put in about 5, but you know, you could skip them if you wanted to, but not for me. Gotta have the anchovies in there. All right, let's just give those a stir. Some lemon juice next up. A couple tablespoons worth. Should probably get enough out of just a half a lemon. And then it's time to grab our capers. All right, so capers, nicely fried. Want to make sure they don't burn. We're trying to get most of the moisture out of them, which we've done. All right, so in go our capers. Now, because we've fried them, we're using a lot more than we'd normally use in a, Caesar dressing. I probably only use about a tablespoon, and we've got about 3 because they're fried. So the only other ingredient we need to get in there is egg yolks, and then all we need to do is season and emulsify by adding our oil. So let's get our egg yolks in there and we'll be ready to mix this up. Okay, so let's just crack a good whack of black pepper into there. I really like lots of black pepper in my dressing, but do it to taste. And don't need too much salt because we've got the capers and the anchovies in there already. We're ready to blend this up. So I'm just gonna turn it on low. And then I'm gonna start pouring in a nice neutral flavored oil, some grapeseed oil. Feel free to use extra virgin olive oil as well. That's, quite traditional. But it's got a really strong flavor and some people aren't down with that. So just a little bit of grapeseed oil, which has, very neutral, smooth flavor. And what we're doing here is we're adding enough oil to get the consistency that we're looking for. And that's looking pretty thick and rich now. I think we're laughing. So what we'll do, take our lid off, just have a little taste here. Wow, that's awesome. All right. Time to mix up some kale with our dressing. Remember, we've got just the leaves here. Bug-free, organic, beautiful kale. Let's get our tongs. Okay, so nice shot of dressing in there. Mix it up really, really well. If you want to, you give a little extra squeeze of lemon juice. But that all depends on your taste buds and how tart you like it. Let's grab ourselves a plate. So I've also got a beautiful chicken breast that I roasted here. Perfect accompaniment to a nice Caesar salad. All right, so let's plate this bad boy up. Chicken, ready to go. Caesar salad, kale Caesar salad. Fried caper dressing, ready to go. Now, let us finish this off with some of our roasted cauliflower. Oh, that's looking good, that's looking good. I'm getting excited, getting happy inside. Need some Parmigiano Reggiano. Okay, so we're gonna grate some Parmesan right onto our salad. And I like to use the big holes. And the last touch, the croutons, right? The croutons are so nice on a Caesar salad because they provide that delicious contrast and texture. But sometimes I'm, trying to eat a little bit less processed food and bread. So how about some roasted pumpkin seeds for that crunch? Beautiful, nice, healthy, nutritious. This salad looks fantastic. Time to taste this bad boy. Love it. The cauliflower, along with the kale, it's definitely got a bit more of a bite to it, a little bit more fibrous. So many flavors going on though, and hey, this is a nice, nutritious way to go. One more recipe to do. We're gonna come back and do the yam latkes. All right, so let's get into some latkes. Very classic, kind of Eastern European, I think. I might be wrong, but I think it's Eastern European recipe. Normally made with potatoes, but we're gonna change it up a little bit, do a bit of a twist and use some yams instead. Now, this isn't actually my idea. You see, I was doing a cooking class. It was a chopped theme cooking class down at Cook Culture, and yams were one of the secret ingredient items, and my crew, my team, not my team, one of the teams I was judging came up with some yam latkes. They were delicious, so I figured, hey, why not show them on the show today? So, all we need to do, so you notice I haven't peeled the yam. I did scrub it really well with one of those veggie brushes, and I like to leave my skin on my yams, and it works great with this recipe. You don't even really notice. So you just want to grate this up. We'll grate the whole thing. Well, maybe the whole thing. And then we're also going to grate some onion. Let's just start with that. We're looking like we've got enough there, at least to get us going. All right, so we'll probably only need about a quarter here. So we'll peel. Oh, we got a nasty spot there. Peel a couple extra layers off that section. Get rid of our compost here. And then we'll go ahead and grate the onion as well. Again, probably just about a quarter of the onion, so maybe half of that half. That should be lots. We'll get our onion in there. Chop up a little bit of garlic, left over from earlier. So that should do the trick. More than enough. That's how I roll with my garlic. More than enough. We'll give it a good chop. I could have taken that sprout out of there. I should have, but oh well, it's in there now. But it's always good to take that sprout out. Just has, quite a strong flavor. Looks like our bacon, or sounds like our bacon's ready for a flipperoo. So as soon as I get this chopped, we're gonna flip that bacon and then we'll finish off our latke batter. That should be good. All right, so this bacon I'm just cooking off because it's going to be the perfect pairing to go with our latkes. Yeah, bacon and latkes sounds good to me. And what I'm going to do here is probably got enough residual heat in the pan, so I'm just going to turn it off. And I'm also going to drain off some of that excess fat because we've got lots. And then we'll just let the residual heat do its thing. All right, so let's finish off our latke batter. We're gonna crack a couple eggs into here. All right, so what we're gonna do here is just whisk those up and add a little bit of flour to them. Maybe a bit more, probably just over a tablespoon, around a tablespoon. get that flour incorporated into the egg, and then we can stir that up. So we'll stir this up now. Make sure it's the right consistency. We'll add in some seasoning, of course, some fresh pepper, some salt, and we'll be ready to fry these up. And you know what else I'm gonna put in? Some cumin seed, why not? In goes the cumin seed. We'll stir this up. And we're gonna be ready to fry these now. We want it, you know, just a little bit wet with that egg, because that egg's gonna set as it cooks. And it's looking pretty good to me. I'm happy with this consistency. Let's see how it works out. All right, so got a nice warm pan here. What we're gonna do is just kind of place it in and squish it down. We don't want them to be very thick, right? Because those yams are raw. This is the exact same way you would make potato latkes. Now, you know, I've been thinking as we've been working on these, I was saying Eastern European, but you know what? This is Jewish. This is a Jewish dish. That's what it is. I slipped my mind, but popped back in. So you want to make sure, again, that they're nice and thin, so that by the time they get browned, we want to get a nice crispy crust on them that the yams are going to be cooked through. We'll flip them over, brown both sides. It's going to be beautiful. So we've been on for a few minutes now. Check out how they're doing. That's looking pretty good. That one's perfect. That's what we're looking for there. So a little bit darker than the light spots on there, but these are looking pretty darn good. I'm happy with that. A few more minutes, second side will be done, and we'll be ready to plate these up. Our bacon is cooled down now. We're gonna just make a nice little platter here. In the meantime, it's time to chop up some green onion. All right, so let's get some green onion cut up. I'm just gonna cut it on a sharp angle here. Nice, fresh, crunchy garnish. Make for some beauty. Beauty on our plate is what it's gonna do. And I really love the flavor of green onions, you know? You can cut them like that. If you wanna get really crazy, really cool, cut them into sections like so, and then slice lengthwise. It's a little tricky. Definitely have to have a good level of comfort with your knife, but it makes for a really pretty little garnish. Beautiful. Looks fantastic. All right, so this is almost complete. It's looking delicious. One thing we need though, a little bit of yogurt. Finish things off nice. And get some of that green onion on there. So what do you think? That's looking fantastic, I think, hey? You know, grab yourself a latke. Maybe a little bit of bacon. Maybe a touch of yogurt. Finish things off with a little bit of green onion. Fantastic. Now that's beautiful. That works. There we have it. Yam latkes. So delicious, I figured I might as well finish off the batch here, of course. Don't want to let anything go to waste. All right, so we just finished rolling through our 3 classics twisted classic recipes. Fantastic stuff. We started off with that nut butter and jam smoothie. From there, we moved on to a roasted cauliflower and kale Caesar salad. That really yummy fried caper dressing was fantastic. And we just finished it off with our yam latkes. Great stuff, fun, tasty, delicious. All the recipes are there for you at countrygrocer.com. Thanks for being with us, and see you next time.
Country Grocer.